I just built this bubbling rock water fountain with a boulder that was sitting right where it's sitting now. And this whole feature is integrated in with the rainwater drainage system that I built last week. So every time it rains, that reservoir gets refilled. This boulder is half the size of my car, just about. I'm not gonna be able to move this one. This one is right at the point where I can't quite lift it, but I think if I get another man here to come help me roll this thing over, this can be my bubbling piece. The rainwater already comes through right here off of this hillside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig my hole here, put my pond liner in, drill a hole through this with my hose, and then try with some help to flip this thing over beside the reservoir. And this will be my piece. This will be the backdrop. And then it will kind of blend into the environment where it already was. This is where nature put it. So this is where it's going to stay.
Whoa, that's a big rock.
All right, we're going to try some medieval lifting here. Okay, Hazel. Hazel, take this rock and throw it under the big one. This project serves two purposes. The first one is just a cool art piece. It's gonna look really pretty, it's gonna sound really pretty, and it just creates a good aesthetic out here in my seating area. But secondly, it's gonna create a good reservoir from which I can pump water out and water my plants in the summer. So if we get some really hot, dry days and I wanna turn my fountain off so I don't lose all that water to evaporation, I may still keep some of that water in the reservoir underground, and then I can use the pump for the fountain to pump the water out and water my plants or even my vegetables or give water to my goats and animals. So primarily it's just a little art piece, but it will also help create a much better little ecosystem here on my property. Grab your rock, go over my board. Now right there on the, drop it, just drop it, toss it in there. Good, perfect. Perfect, okay, look out. I'm going, lifting up on my board so the rock's gonna go down.
Under there farther?
No, I'm able to rock it like it is.
Yeah.
I can't see.
I know, honey.
There.
All right, this time of year the sun sets at 5:30, so we're actually out here on a weekday evening to get some of this work done. I thought this rock was more square, so I was gonna leave it sitting the way it is and drill a hole through it, but when moving it around, I found out it's actually more shaped like a wedge. So I'm gonna stand it upright, and it'll end up being taller than I originally planned, which is for the better. I still have to stand it upright. It's not standing yet. This barrel is 55 gallons. It was a soap container from a car wash given away for free on Facebook Marketplace. So I picked up like a dozen of these this last fall, and I haven't used them for anything yet. This one is going to be turned on its side to be my void box, my reservoir box, because it's a pretty thick plastic. If I can avoid hurting myself here. I mean, I weigh over 160 and it holds me up. This is not to hold the boulder up. The boulder is going to be set just on the ground beside this, but this should be plenty of strength to just hold up the river rock right at the surface level. So I have to dig my hole deep enough for this to sit down below the surface level, and then the river rock will go over this, and I'll just drill some holes in it. Let's keep working.
Do you want me to stick something under on the other side so it can help you flip it up?
When I move it, can you slide a rock behind it to get it away? Yeah, to get it away from the large one.
The large one. Deep.
Good. I wanted to mention, because we're using body weight and leverage, it's really not that much work. I'm not straining my back. I haven't had to lift anything but these little rocks. All this movement has just been done with the board, leveraging it up off my own body weight, pushing down. So this doesn't feel like that much work. It's just really tedious because you move it like a quarter of an inch and a quarter of an inch, and then if you're lucky you move it a few inches. But it's just a lot of shifting back and forth, lift this edge, and slide it around, and tedious things. It's not a quick process.
Ready?
Okay, down.
Oh.
On the rock, yeah. Very more
Yeah.
stable than that. I feel fine here.
Okay.
There, I can lift more. Can you slide down there?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Okay, that's good.
Those are brutal
Okay, watch out so they don't kick out.
This can lift up a shovel. Do up down. I can't.
Okay.
You're so heavy.
Kind of shove that under there.
Now just toss a bunch of rocks right there. It's almost balanced. So yeah, just toss a bunch right there.
Hey, you got to hit me in the head.
Yeah, look, that was all we needed. Oh, Hazel almost just fell down the hill.
Oh, you okay? Good
And
catch.
she got scared. You good, Hazel?
Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
Watch your fingers under there, Lizzie. There you go.
Up there.
Oh, snap.
What?
Gotcha. No more. My hands are dirty.
Boom.
Nice.
The water's gonna come out like right here.
Nice. So you're just gonna drill like this way?
Yeah,
Out the back and.
basically. Yeah, probably farther down, but yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, this is my rough layout. I have some fine tuning to do before I put the pond liner in. Getting the pond liner under this is going to be very difficult. Getting this set up on end last night wasn't actually that difficult, but once it was up on end, it was really hard to get it situated right about where I want it. It took me a long time to kind of get it rocked back forward a little more and upright a little better. But this is where I want it to sit. And I've got it up on rocks now, so I can keep getting my board underneath it and leverage it around a little bit. Once this is on the pond liner, I'm going to drill my hole here out to the back. So this is going to be my waterfall right here with the water coming out the top. This is my drum down in the hole I made, and it has a little bit of a slope to the one side, and then I dug out another big hole, and there's the very lowest point of the reservoir is going to be right here where the pump is, so that the pump can catch all the water out of that reservoir. Hazel,
What?
do you remember in one of my videos I asked if people wanted to get you gloves?
Yeah. Whoa, wow. Hazel gloves.
One of the people who watched our video sent me those.
Whoa, these are cool. Yeah, this Yay!
Do you want to open them?
Yeah, I don't know what.
What do you think?
Okay,
They got little bumblebees on them.
I'm gonna show my mom.
Okay, go show mom.
I'm playing the hole.
What do you say?
Thank you.
I found Lizzie's gloves. No, that's the wrong hand, Liz. This hand. Alright, I actually bought these last year and never had a chance to use them. I have a 45 mil EPDM pond liner, and I have this like cloth, road cloth stuff. I don't remember what they call it, but it's that thick, tough geotex fabric or whatever that they put under and over the pond liner to keep rocks and footprints from puncturing it. I have more than enough liner and cloth, so I'll be able to go way out past my hole and then be able to carve the liner back in if I need to. The tricky part next is going to be trying to get both of these under this boulder. This rock has a tendency to fall back when I try moving it, so that just helps keep it from falling over. It's just a little back pressure.
Hi, Lizzie.
Alright, we gotta go back to this side and pull some wrinkles out. Alright, there it is. We got the pond liner and 2 layers of fabric sandwiching the pond liner all the way back underneath the boulder from like the whole thing. So she was asking, because I put rocks on the bottom and then the big rock on top, won't that sort of like pinch the liner and puncture it? And I potentially yes, but very likely no, and that's why I did the double layers of cloth and the thickest pond liner I could find. This is a 45 mil. A lot of the smaller pond liners are like 20 mil, which is half as thick as this is. This is like a full pond line. This is a full pond liner. They put huge boulders on these things and they don't puncture. That's what it's made for. But that's also why I did the cloth, and I was careful not to put like sharp edges. Like you don't want like a razor rock pointing up that'll puncture through. I made sure that I had flat rocks underneath it, and the bottom side of this boulder's pretty flat, and so when they sandwich together, they're not going to puncture anything. It's just going to squish the liner down. I probably am going to concrete around it, the base of it, under the river rock, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a solid foundation to keep it from like tipping or sliding around more, but we're going to do that after we're all done here. Check your shoes for sharp objects. Alright, for my pump, 5-gallon bucket wasn't tall enough, so I put 2 together. I cut the bottoms off, and because they're slanted, the bottoms kind of wedged together. So now we have Alright, I just ran and grabbed the drill for this thing with a big masonry bit on it, and now I have to decide where I want the hole. And watch, just by luck, I'm going to get this far, and this drill's going to break my rock in half. We'll hope for the best. I can't drill all the way straight down through it, but I can run my hose from the back here. So about halfway down from the back, I'm going to drill angled up to here. So I'm going to do a big diagonal drilled hole. Just visually, I think I want it about here, and then I might chisel out a little bit of a bigger opening so that it can kind of collect water and spread out here from the top. The hole is drilled, the pump is in, and I'm filling the reservoir. We can run this today. To avoid confusion here, I should clarify. That hose is off the spigot, just filling the reservoir. This is an old piece of broken hose that I cut off to use from the pump to the rock. So this is staying in here, I'll bury it. That one is just filling the reservoir. Once the reservoir's full, the water will just recirculate. I do get questions about water flow, where the water comes from and where it goes. So this is not city water or my well water running constantly. This is water in the reservoir that gets recirculated. If that evaporates out or splashes out, the pump will go dry and I'll have to refill it or turn the pump off. Keep going. Right there, go ahead. Last night in the dark, I went and I mortared around the base of this boulder to give it a broader footprint so that it's less likely to tip over, and it's pretty solid now. I made sure to stuff mortar underneath it as well. So every time it rains, the water's going to come out of this culvert and flow through this little bit of a creek into the reservoir. And since that's going to be happening, it's probably going to bring in a lot of like dirt and other debris. And so I want that to sort of be filtered in like a natural marshland. I'm going to take this excess liner here and I'm going to raise it up on this end to create a little bit of a dam that collects the water. And I'm going to bury this end of the liner in the ground. So it's going to be dirt over the liner into this little dam area where there'll be a separate little puddle. And I'm going to plant grasses in here so that the rainwater comes in, it flows over the liner and it puddles here and then sort of slowly through the roots and the grasses will then flow into my reservoir. It's just one more little step in the process to keep it from just washing mud straight down. There's no reason to leave all this excess over here because there's not going to be water there. And the more excess there is, the more I have to cover it with rock, and I don't feel like putting any more rock over here, so there's an extra 2 feet out here. How about right there for now? Maybe I'll move it later. These are grasses from the other side of my property. They grew on the other side of the hill where they get lots of rainwater, so I'm hoping they do well over here.
That's kind of pretty.
Alright, I managed to wrap this up just before the rain started, which is fortunate. I don't want to be out here in the pouring rain. And now the rain should hopefully start flowing down here and fill my marshland and then fill my reservoir. I'm going to be turning this on in a second, but I wanted to address my electrical fittings because people always ask, like, did you get electrical ran out there or is it an extension cord? In this case, I am using an extension cord, but to keep it more weatherproof, I have this piece, which is a rubber sealed box that goes over the connection to keep it out of the rain and the weather. So this seals over where your plugs go together, and then I suppose you could bury it or something, which I might end up doing, but for now I just keep it above ground because I'm still working on it. But eventually that is probably what I'm going to do, is I'm going to get a big extension cord, bury it a little bit under the ground, and seal the connection. Alright, so we finished up this project by planting some ferns around it because it's a shady area with really good moisture. I think the ferns will do really well around here and it'll add some good color year-round. If you like this project and you enjoyed this video, please like the video down below and subscribe to my channel. If you have any comments, you can comment down below or you can reach me on my website or send me something at my P.O. box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.
I love that you set that one
What was that?
I was just saying, I love that you set this one in, that it's flush with the dirt. It just makes it more satisfying to my brain.
One of our favorite things to do in the evening, because we live in such a tiny little house, is just make a big fire out here and hang out after dark. And now that we have this here, it feels a little bit more moody in a good way. So we have our tiki torches lit and a fire going, and we'll just like hang out and talk and drink a glass of wine or something.